Janice, are you there?
At your service, sir.
What do we have today?
Uploading visuals, sir.
I didn't care when a man ghosted me. I didn't care when he left in the middle of the night or hinted that he wanted me to leave.
Feminist tearfully explains why she regrets being a slut. Broken women cannot be fixed. Welcome to Manosphere Highlights Daily. Bridget Fantasy wrote a piece about regretting being a garden tool, and the piece went viral. And of course, everybody and their mama had something to say about it.
I really just wanted to take a minute, read the piece in my own voice, and tell you about the reaction that I've received, and tell you about some of the things I've heard and some of the things that have been put on this essay that I don't feel are what I was trying to say at all. So I'm going to read it.
What she says after reading her article is pure gold, but we will highlight a few things from the article to reinforce our message, namely that you should protect yourself at all times. Don't try to save these women because broken women cannot be fixed. Now it's time for us to get into this and do what we gotta do because we men ain't we? Shit.
I know regretting most of my sexual encounters is not something a sex-positive feminist who used to write a column for Playboy is supposed to admit. And for years, I didn't. Let me be clear. Being a slut and sleeping with a lot of men is not the only behavior I regret. Even more damaging was what I told myself in order to justify the fact that I was disposable to these men. I told myself I didn't care. I didn't care when a man ghosted me. I didn't care when he left in the middle of the night or hinted that he wanted me to leave. The walks of shame, the blackouts, the anxiety. The lie I told myself for decades was, I'm not in pain, I'm empowered. I knew it would be hard to read this.
Did you hear that, guys? First, she made a sound, ugh, and then the tears started falling. Where did we hear this before, guys? Check this out.
I'm sorry to break it to you guys, it does not go away. It gets better, but it doesn't go away. There's times when my husband can be so romantic and that feeling comes and I feel so disgusted with myself and I feel so bad because I see that, he's being so sweet. That never goes away.
These women are disgusted with themselves, and to be fair, it is disgusting when you think about it, especially when you're thinking out loud. All these guys that were nutting inside of her or showering her from the back. How many DICKs has she spit-shined? How much spiritual energy from men who don't give a damn about her has she absorbed? And now it's your turn to kiss her goodbye with love. Ugh, that's the embodiment of the sound. Check this out right here on the top left. Yeah, right there. This is the undo button. There's not a day of editing that goes by without using this button. This function at least once. Every mistake that I make, things that I'm not happy with, I can undo. It will be like it never happened and I can do it over or choose not to do it at all. It will have no effect on the final product. In real life, we don't have an undo button. Every choice comes with a consequence. Once you make a choice, you must accept responsibility. You cannot escape the consequences of your choices, whether you like them or not. You see that the memories just bring them to tears because there's no undo button. It's saved in their system, saved in their memories. And once it's saved, it's there forever and they will never be the same. Let's continue.
Another set of lies built on trauma. Sex isn't just about power. It's also about intimacy and vulnerability and trust. Things I wanted nothing to do with, because implicit in modern dating is a complete lack of expectations, especially those of chivalry. Whenever a man wanted to pick up the tab or pull out the chair or open the door or pick me up or take me to dinner or see me during the day or wait longer than the first date to have sex, I was shocked and suspicious of them. Was he a serial killer? Casual sex is fraught with insecurity and miscommunication. Intimacy and love are punchlines. When a man I slept with had the courtesy to reach out, I mistook relief for happiness, rewiring my brain to be grateful for the bare minimum. The saddest realization is how low I set the bar. A lifetime of allowing myself to be the other woman, taken for granted or treated like a doormat under the false pretense of being empowered, came to head one night with the arrival of a text message from an on-again, off-again lover. "Good night, baby, I love you," it said, quickly followed by "wrong person." Rock bottom doesn't always look like losing everything or ending up in jail. Sometimes it can be that sick feeling in your gut when you know emotionally you're done. I wanted to be able to have meaningless sex like a guy, but it didn't work.
You don't need to be a rocket scientist to figure out that women cannot have sex like men. We made a video where we break this down and also mention the shitty lock versus the master key analogy. These feminists refuse to acknowledge biology. When we mention Chad and Tyrone in our videos, that's biology. Attraction is not a choice. Now I like what she said about suspecting the nice guy to be a serial killer, because yesterday we reviewed the first episode of the series You, which features a nice guy as a serial killer, and that's the agenda, that's the narrative. All men are toxic, even the nice ones cannot be trusted, and that's bullshit. Modern women don't know how to dance. How in the blue hell do you think having sex like a man is empowering, when you, for one, are not equipped as a man, and two, you don't have to engage in the same dynamics at all to get some action? There's a difference between earning $1 million and winning $1 million with a lotto. Most of these lotto millionaires go broke within 3 to 5 years because they don't know how money works, because they didn't earn the money. This is exactly what happens to women when they hit the wall. They never had to work for a man's attention. And when the looks faded out, she became invisible and finally had to experience what most men experience their entire lives. Men and women are distinct entities. There is no equality.
Today's youth are fed an even more dangerous lie than the one that was fed about loveless sex. I was told sex doesn't matter. They're being told biology doesn't matter. This is a tragedy. I'm not suggesting we return to some Victorian era notion of sex or some 1950s era ideal about gender roles. I'm now 43 years old and I'm in the first truly healthy, intimate relationship in my life with my second husband. We recently had a daughter. And in the wake of her birth, I've been thinking a lot about the conversations I'm going to have with her and the conversations I wish I could go back in time and have with young Bridget. I'd tell her, sex can be empowering when you're coming from a position of healthy self-esteem. If you're coming from a place of trauma or insecurity, casual sex won't heal that. In fact, it might set you back and undermine any progress regarding your feelings of self-worth. If you know your value, you're less likely to sleep with someone who doesn't value you. Cherish yourself and you will be cherished. You shouldn't have to withhold sex for a man to respect you. He should respect you regardless. Sexual empowerment has nothing to do with how many people you do or don't sleep with. It has to do with how comfortable you are in your skin, no matter your decision. It's not about waiting until you're in love to have sex. It's about making sure that first, you love yourself. Don't ignore that nagging gut instinct telling you sexual liberation leaves you feeling unfulfilled. You can still be sex positive and accept that for you, sex can't be liberated from intimacy and a meaningful relationship. I regret being a slut. I regret it because I regret that those men can say they slept with me. Still, that's how I know I finally value myself. Every woman should feel this way. Sleeping with me is a privilege and you have to be worthy.
There's a lot of gold here. You see how the tears come back when she mentions her daughter. As a parent, you have to protect your children. You don't want your daughter to go through this. Now here's the problem with modern women. They want to be saved when they are in trouble. Check this out.
Your hands now.
This is why this episode is pure gold, because it just highlights the feminist and woke narrative. Beck does whatever she wants in this episode and makes a complete mess out of her life, and Mr. Cleanup Man is there to save her from her death. This type of protection is reserved as a last resort. The best form of protection is prevention. A lot of people don't have life insurance and funerals cost a lot of money. I learned this the hard way. I was shocked. Family members needed to get the money together to have a proper burial. It's one of those things we took for granted. You don't know the impact of something until it hits you. We're not going to be here forever, but we don't know when it's time to go. And in modern Western society, you're not going to tell a woman anything. because that's controlling. And can you compete with the sisterhood? Watch our video about the ex-unicorn that was raised in a traditional manner, that went to college and became part of the hookup culture because everybody was doing it. In order to protect a woman, you will need some form of control. Women have proven for the last 50, 60 years that they need us to clean up their mess. And I'm telling you, this is not our responsibility. This winter is coming, and for some it's already here. We don't have to settle for these low quality women that choose to F themselves up. I always say, look at the information that's consistent. She's 43 years old. The damage kicks in their 30s. Janice, what happens to women when they hit 30?
Both men and women produce fewer hormones once they hit 30. Estrogen, the hormone that controls a woman's monthly cycle, begins to drop around the milestone and then takes another nosedive at 35. This can cause weight gain and lower libido than you're used to. You may even enter early perimenopause, which can result in mood swings and anxiety. As you get older, your metabolism starts slowing down, meaning you don't require as much energy to fuel yourself, despite still having a 25-year-old's appetite. And when your muscles can't metabolize energy efficiently, you're more likely to put on weight. For men, this happens more gradually. However, pregnancy and menopause in women can slow things down a lot more dramatically.
This reminds me of Tully.
I mean, your 20s are great. They are. But then your 30s come around the corner like a garbage truck at 5 a.m. Yeah. What are you gonna do when that cute little butt of yours drops and your feet grow a half a size with each pregnancy and this whole free spirit thing, it stops being charming and it just starts to look ugly.
They are forced into this epiphany phase by nature, and now they have to face their demons, and when she settles for you, you will have to face her demons with her.
I didn't care when he left in the middle of the night or hinted that he wanted me to leave.
Oh, that's romantic. Is it worth it? I don't like the way she ends her piece.
I regret being a slut. I regret it because I regret that those men can say they slept with me.
She regrets being a garden tool because men can't say they slept with her? I mean, if her body count is higher than the predator himself, you're just one of the guys that... There's nothing to brag about. There's nothing to be proud of. Look what's happening to Brittany Renner. Associating yourself with Brittany Renner is nothing to be proud of. That's why these high-value men she once had access to run! Get to the chopper! And that's why she won't respect the man that chooses to settle for this mess that she made, because he doesn't respect himself. Your reputation is gold. Protect it at all costs. Now she's gonna give her own thoughts. Let's continue.
I kept damaging myself, damaging my spirit and soul in ways that I didn't really fully comprehend at the time. I was too young and I was too high or drunk in many instances. And you can see when I read the piece, it's still painful because I wish I knew better. And I guess part of the reason that I wrote this piece is for my daughter. I want her to know better. And for all the young women out there, you don't have to play that game. If you feel in your heart, like, I don't think I can have sex with someone and not get attached, and I don't know the person, and I feel like it's very intimate, you're right. That's true. And again, when I said it hasn't been great for men either, it is simultaneously given men permission to kind of just be these cads, and in doing so, and Louise talks about this in her book, Cads versus Dads, they're losing out on meeting a woman of substance, and they're losing out on having the opportunity to have an intimate relationship and pursue a family and all of these things that come that are so rewarding and fulfilling. And because the women who might feel this way know this about themselves, there are so many good women that I know who are single, because how can you compete in the dating world with men who can have sex with as many women as they want if you don't want to have sex with somebody right away? So they're not even engaging in this market of mates and dating. That's a tragedy too, because some of the best women I know, smartest, most loving, nurturing women I know are single and not even going on dating sites. Why would you, when it's just men generally looking for hookups? So this hookup culture and this way that we've been told is okay has been damaging to everyone. I don't think it's just women who are suffering the consequences of this. And I think you're going to hear from more women about this.
Absolutely. The results are in. Millennials are turning 40 years old this year. The loneliness generation. 1 in 4 women on antidepressants. Winter is coming. Inflation. Energy prices skyrocket. Homelessness crisis is getting worse. And like always, women are most affected. So we will definitely hear from more broken women. Once again, she had to pause when she mentioned the piece she wrote. I hope you guys understand the seriousness of this. Broken women cannot be fixed. You have your exceptions, but that's exactly what they are. Don't try to save them. Women know what they're doing. Women are responsible for this hookup culture that they have such a big problem with. She talks about that gut feeling, but it doesn't stop them from making the wrong choice. She doesn't want to be saved until it's too late. That's why you need to save yourself. I found my woman elsewhere because I wanted a family, and I keep her elsewhere because I don't want her mindset polluted by these feminists. Western society is producing these low quality women, these LQWs. So don't shoot the messenger and take the message for what it is. Do your own research. Listen to all but follow none. Let me hear your thoughts. Manosphere, we working. Protect yourself at all times. This video has officially been highlighted.